Hello guys, it's Jo here with another Time for Tea Designs video. Today's video I'm going to be making a congratulations card for my partner Ant, who those of you who follow Time for Tea Designs will know he's currently training to be a firefighter and is passing out today on Friday the 4th, that is. So I wanted to make him a little congratulations card, and I was really keen to use the speech bubble set and our little pig hugs and kisses stamp set, because I really wanted to use the sentiment, I think you're kind of a pig deal, which is a really cool sentiment. So I also wanted to use the plaid background stamp. So what I'm starting with is just stamping that plaid background stamp onto some craft cardstock. I'm really feeling the autumn shades at the moment. So browns and oranges and greens are really what I'm feeling at the moment. So that was the thick colour scheme for my card this evening. So I'm just flipping my card around. This is an A6 sized piece of cardstock, and I'm using some ground espresso Distress Oxide ink just to stamp out my my image there. Now the Distress Oxide doesn't give a totally clean impression, and the craft cardstock is very absorbent. So I knew I wasn't going to get a thoroughly clean stamped image, but that was fine because that worked for my project. I'm just having a look at my scallop slimline stencil now. Scallop slimline die, and I'm going to cut some patterned paper using this die, because I really think that this patterned paper from our Rainbow Brights paper pad is perfect for this autumn themed colour scheme. And I'm just checking out my composition here, because I wasn't sure which way I wanted my card to open. In the end, I decided that we would go for a landscape card, because that meant that we could still see a good amount of that plaid background behind our scallop panel. I also decided that because the background is quite dark, that having a white frame to that patterned cardstock would really help it stand out. So I've cut that from the same scallop die, just in some white card. To add a little bit of extra shine and texture to my background, I'm using a splatter technique with some of my Finetech mica metallic paint here. So I've just watered those down, and then I'm using the copper and the gold to add some shimmer to my background, and that just looked really, really amazing. I mean, you can see it on screen there, but in real life it looks so shiny. I'm cutting a frame out of this really, really bright, lovely, like grape purple cardstock that we have in our shop, and I'm using the mini frames dies to cut that out, because I decided that that would be a really nice way to frame our little pig character. I also wanted to cut something to fill that circle centre, so a little bit of ground for our character to sit on. So I'm using this plaid paper that is from a lawn fawn set, and I've cut first the circle in white, and I'm just applying some tumbled glass distress ink to the top of that. I've also cut out another frame using the plaid paper, and I'm now going to cut that down so that this will fit on top of our tumbled glass piece of cardstock, and will create the ground for our little pig to sit on. So I've just stuck that to that centerpiece, and you can see now how that's made like a little framed picture. The orange patterned paper that I cut previously from our scallop die, I'm actually trimming those scalloped edges down so that that will fit inside our white scallop piece. And now you can see how that's starting to come together as a composition. So now on to our image and our sentiment. So I'm going to use some of my Memento Tuxedo Black to stamp out my little pig there. And I do love this pig on a scooter. I think he's just really, really cute. And I've used him so much. But I do just think he works for so many different projects. And I'm going to stamp out the I think you're a pig deal sentiment, and I'm using my Versamark to stamp that. And then I'm also selecting some of these sentiments from the Speech Bubbles stamp set and using that same Versamark to stamp those out as well. So I'm going to trim off my little pig there, pop my sentiments to one side, and let's colour in this little piggy. So I'm using the same colours that I've used when I've coloured this little guy in previous videos, the R20, R21 and R22. It's so simple to colour. It's a little image. You don't have to go mad with all your shading. I've started with my lightest shade and building up to my darkest, just where I feel that those shadows would be. So under his ears and nose, under his neck, under the handlebars of the scooter there and his legs. And then to match our colour scheme, I'm using the I think it's V15 and V17 shades of purple, which are a great shade of purple. And that's really just helped tie our colour scheme together. And then some warm greys just for the wheels of that scooter. I'm going to use the coordinating die to cut him out. And I'm also going to use the coordinating dies for the speech bubbles. So I'm just chopping off that main sentiment there, but adding the coordinating dies to our speech bubbles. And these coordinating dies are so cool because you can use them with your other sentiments. So they're different sizes. You don't necessarily need the stamps to be able to use those. Basically, you can just use them for all kinds of different sentiments and projects. So a really handy die set to have, that one. But obviously it works perfectly with those stamped sentiments too. So I'm doing something that I absolutely hate doing, which is trimming down my sentiment. I much prefer to have a die to do this because I'm not great at getting straight lines, but I think I've done a passable job, not too bad this time. So I'm quite pleased with how that worked out. And our sentiment's going to sit at the bottom. So I'm happy with my my configuration there. So I'm going to start assembling my pieces. So I'm just using some liquid glue on that patterned paper and attaching that to the back of my my scallop piece. And because I want to raise this up, I'm just using my card as a bit of a guide and snipping off the excess before I attach some of this foam tape to the back of that panel. I use my pokey tool just to remove the backing paper, and then I can pop that down the centre of our card. So that's starting to look really good. I've used the same foam tape to add our sentiment at the bottom. So just pop that in the centre there. And then for our little focal panel, our framed panel, I'm going to use some liquid glue just on the frame. So we're going to keep this flat, but I'm going to pop up our little pig. So keeping this background flat will just help not overload the dimension. Using some liquid glue to pop that back in the centre. And then, like I said, some of that foam tape, just a couple of foam pads on the back of there will be enough just to give him a little bit of dimension. And he looked really cute scooting across the background there. And then the sentiments that I've decided on are the congrats, and I just added a double layer of tape to one side where it hangs over that scallop panel. And then the yay, the same thing, I've just doubled up on some tape on one side so that it sits nicely along that background. Some white jelly roll highlights will finish off our pig, as will a couple of dots of our black glaze pen to his nostrils. So it was discussed whether we would do an insert, and this is something that I did on a previous card and I really liked the way it turned out. So we decided to decorate the inside of our card as well. So I'm using some carved pumpkin distress oxide ink, and I've just stamped out the same little pig image on the inside, and then some of the little hearts that are also part of that set. And then for the centre, I'm going to use the little oink sentiment that's in the Hugs and Kisses set. And I've used some Wilted Violet Distress Oxide ink and then a few more hearts. We'll just finish off the inside of our card, which I think is a really nice touch and is something that I definitely will continue to do. So I really think our little pig is cute. I think this is made for a really nice autumnal feel and a masculine card. I really hope that you like it. If you did, then it would be great if you could like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll be back with more videos real soon. See you soon, guys. Bye-bye now.